this meeting to order. If you would please stay standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Mr. Moreau, would you kindly do roll call?
Thank you, Warden. Councilor Bennett. Here. Councilor Rose.
Present.
Councilor Doncaster.
Present.
Councilor Donahue.
Here.
Councilor Emo.
Here.
Councilor Gross.
Here.
Councilor Hunt.
Here.
Councilor Keller.
Here.
Councilor Love.
Present.
Councilor Lynch.
Here.
Warden.
For the last time here.
Thank you. Councilor Peckett.
Present.
Councilor Ricker.
Present.
Councilor Reinwald.
Present.
Councilor Robinson.
Present.
Councilor Sweet.
Here.
Councilor Wisniewski Moore.
Here.
Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. At this time, I'll ask, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none. As we gather in chambers this morning, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting today on the traditional territory of the First Nations. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. We are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. Welcome to Chief Kirby Whiteduck, Algonquins of Pequotnagon First Nation, for being with us today. Members of County Council, and welcome special guests including Mayor Walter Stack from the town of Arnprior, Mayor Suzanne Dion from the town of Deep River, Mayor Steve Bennett from the township of Laurentian Valley, Mayor Don Eady from the town of Renfrew, Mayor Michael Moore from the township of Whitewater Region, Mayor Mike LeMay, City of Pembroke, Colonel Louis Lapointe, Commander, and Chief Warrant Officer Tom Verner from the Garrison Petawawa, and Ray Bonenberg, the Chair of the Board of Directors, and Diane McKinnon, Executive Director of the Renfrew County Community Futures Corporation. During the month of December, I attended 4 meetings on county business. On December 5th and 6th, I attended, along with CAO Paul Morrow, a meeting of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus held in Kingston. Topics on the agenda were paramedic services, affordable housing, and the 2020 EOWC budget. I want to acknowledge that while I was away at the EOWC meetings in Kingston on December 6th, Councillor Michael Donahue, Chair of Health Committee, Chief Paramedic Mike Nolan, and the Director of Long-Term Care, Shelley Sheedy, had an opportunity to meet in Ottawa with Premier Ford and Minister of Long-Term Care, the Honourable Mary Lee Fullerton, to discuss long-term care and community paramedicine. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of council, staff, and the media for their support over the last 3 years in my role as warden. It has been a great experience serving as warden. We have seen many changes over the last 3 years that affect us from senior government priorities and policies. No matter the challenges, no matter the speed at which they came at us, no matter how difficult, we took a stand, pushed back, partnered, or negotiated with confidence, and most often with success. Together, we have faced many challenges and we have made significant advancements on a variety of projects that will lead to the improvements in the lives of many of our residents. With your support, we have advocated for the expansion of Highway 17, grown our community paramedicine program, celebrated the 150th birthday of our nation, began the process of a service delivery improvement, committed to a patient-centered approach in long-term care with the butterfly model, created the Algonquin Trail, and adopted our new strategic plan, just to name a few. I know I've jested that I might be known as the disaster warden, having faced 2 floods and a tornado over the 3 years. But what I do know is that our communities rose up in true Ottawa Valley tradition. Neighbors, elected municipal staff, paramedics, fire, volunteers, military, Coast Guard, everyone picked up not only shovels, sand and bags, they picked up the spirit of our community. They lifted each other up and showed us all what community means. As warden for the last 3 years, I can tell you I've seen many things, taken many meetings, heard many stories, and it has truly been an experience to remember, and one that has made me a better counselor, a better leader, and a better human. Now, I would also like to thank the past wardens in the room. You have guided me and set us up as a council on a solid path with your sage advice, experience, and support. I look forward to joining your exclusive club in just a few moments. I hope there's wine at those club meetings, by the way. And I too look forward to providing support and advice often to the future wardens. Lastly, I extend to all of you, from myself and my family, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All the best in 2020. And I will remind you of the following: the County of Renfrew, experience our history, share our future. This concludes my last address as the Warden of the County of Renfrew for 2019. Thank you. Thanks, Rose. All right. Mr. Morrow, is there any correspondence?
Thank you, Warden. All correspondence has been forwarded to the appropriate committee. Thank you.
Thank you, and at this time, Mr. Morrow, I'm going to turn this meeting over to you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Paul's derobing me.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Don't be surprised if we continue to call you Warden for a while. It's a bit of an adjustment for us.
Muscle memory.
Item number 8 on the agenda. Pursuant to Section 17, I will now start the process for the election of Warden. We had 2 individuals nominated, and we will proceed in alphabetical order, starting with the mover of Councillor Tom Peckett. And just for Council's information, our 2 candidates are Councillor Peckett and Councillor Robinson. So moving forward, we will start the process with nomination speeches from Councillor Sweet, and then that was seconded by Councillor Emo. Councillor Sweet.
Thank you, and good morning. Just before I begin my remarks, I want to just take a few seconds just to recognize 3 years that the Warden has given as leadership here within the County of Renfrew. Thank you so much for that on behalf of all members of Council and those who are in attendance and the ratepayers of the County of Renfrew. Thank you so much, Warden. Councillor, pardon me, okay? As always, at our alumni gatherings, we haven't really had wine, but as always, you bring up some innovative ideas, and that certainly will be first on the agenda when we do meet. Okay, fair enough. As I said before, we don't meet that often, once every 5 years, so. But good morning, fellow mayors, Reeves, Colonel Lapointe, Mr. Werner, Mr. Green, Mr. Thiel, Reeves, staff, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I wish first to recognize both our colleagues who today have put their names forward for the position of Warden of Renfrew County. It sends an important and strong message to our ratepayers when capable candidates, namely Tom Peckett, Mayor Tom Peckett and Reeve Debbie Robinson, stand for election as the Warden of this great county. As Mayor of the town of Petawawa, I place before you the for Warden of Renfrew County, Mayor Tom Peckett of McNabb-Braeside Township. Tom has 12 years' experience as a municipal elected official, 7 years in an urban environment as a councillor in the town of Arnprior, currently the last 5 years in a rural environment as the Mayor of the Township of McNabb-Braeside, and 5 years as a member of County Council. This combined experience speaks to the very mosaic of Renfrew County. Mayor Peckett has lived in Renfrew County for 50 years and has served the public with distinction as a police officer, business owner, coach, board member, and very active volunteer. Tom has always been a major sports enthusiast, either by participating, refereeing, or organizing. He began a safety program for youth, coached both children and adults in softball and basketball, and was the recipient of the first Arnprior Optimist Club Award. Currently, Mayor Peckett is a member of the Arnprior District Archives, Physician Recruitment Committee, Grove Development Committee, and the Senior Active Living Centre. Mayor Peckett is married with 4 children and 5 grandchildren. I believe one is on the way. Is that correct? So 5 and a half, something like that. Tom's county experience extends as chair of operations and accessibility committees, a member of finance and administration, the 417 expansion committee, a past member of the county city liaison, and has served as deputy warden of the county of Renfrew and has made numerous presentations to both provincial and federal cabinet ministers seeking funding on behalf of the county of Renfrew. Working with Mayor Peckett on these committees and presentations has proven to me his determination, his leadership, teamwork, and commitment to the goals and the visions of the county. Tom is trustworthy, dedicated, and enthusiastic in making a difference in his community and in the county of Renfrew. And I've always admired Tom's rapport with our staff. In conclusion, it is with confidence and pride and respect I place before you Mayor Peckett as my nomination for the position of Warden of the County of Renfrew.
Thank you, Councillor Sweet. Now call on Councillor Emo.
Thank you. Good morning to all of the family members and friends of Tom and Debbie who have joined us this morning. Also, it's nice to see our mayors from our municipalities who have members other than themselves representing the communities here. I can speak for all of us to say your county councillors do an excellent job of bringing forward the concerns of our communities across the county. Also, it is a pleasure to host our members of the armed forces in our chambers as well. We owe you so much, to you and to those who served before you. Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge Chief Whitetuck, who is a very close friend of this community and our chambers, and thank you for being here today, Chief Whitetuck. Thank you to Warden Murphy for her leadership and grace during this term of office. We know in part and appreciate the time and commitment you and your family have made to serve in the position. The members of this chamber and the community know you will continue to offer guidance and wise counsel as we make decisions that shape our community and assist us in ensuring it flourishes. Thank you. Because of your efforts and the efforts of Bob and Janice and many others we know, Service is about sitting in that chair and leading and guiding, excuse me, and ruling on minutiae of procedures such as my good friend's Councillor Dunhu's friendly amendments and privilege. It also means getting in a boat and touring areas of devastation. It means being a captain of the boat, apparently, doesn't it, Jed? Jed has, I was going to use Jed's speech, but we've all heard it about 3 times in the last 18 months, so we're not going to talk about boats and ships and captains today. Service means driving across the province either to the north or to the south or to Toronto and staying the night and hitting the marks the next morning at a delegation or a meeting and driving home the message and trying to drive policy. Getting the message out about a policy or a project or a funding request. In the afternoon, again, excuse me, the afternoon may bring another place and a different message. It's about being prepared, it's about being quick on your feet, it's about ensuring you understand the discussions that occur in these chambers. Service can also mean involvement in discipline an employee or negotiating a sealed amendment, settlement, and listening to people griping about it and not being able to defend it. Believe me, that is service. However, service is also the very enjoyable moments of handing out roses to volunteers at Miramichi Lodge or attending a 90th birthday and listening to the stories. Those aspects of the service make the role of warden so enjoyable and interesting and helps you grow as a person. Tom is a person for this role. He has watched and learned from others and asked questions about it. He understands the importance of producing and delivering papers and presentations. He has an awareness of the importance of representation at EOWC and the challenge of following behind Warden Sweet as a 2-time chair and Warden Murphy as a 2-time vice chair. They have left a legacy of leadership and vision he knows he will be challenged to match. Tom has prepared himself for this role. As I've noted, he asks a lot of questions and he does his research. He has asked questions and understood the uniqueness of our role and our relationship with the City of Pembroke and the outreach and the partnering and exchange of information that's necessary with AMO, Roma, FONOM, the Warden's Caucus, and ERN, as well as the province through Minister Yakubuski and others, and with the federal government through MP Gallant. He is aware and respects the relationship we need to constantly work on and grow with the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan First Nation. I have come to appreciate Tom's decision-making and planning as I've watched his conduct as mayor in McNabb Braeside, managing the relationship with Arnprior, which was troubled when he assumed office, managing the relationships and growth of his community as they find a balance between a more urban environment and the rural lifestyle that they've grown accustomed to. He's been managing and guiding council as they move through their asset management plan and they replace aging infrastructure, much of which was at or exceeding its expected lifespan. Tom has the ability to say yes, and that takes leadership. No is easy. Members of council can say no, and you walk away. When you say yes, you have the responsibility of implementing it, assessing it, and ensuring that it moves forward and develops your community. So he has the ability to lead by saying yes. And that's a very difficult thing for members of council. I think we all take a look at our own councils. We see people who champion no. And it takes a real champion to say yes. If I may, I'd like to share one story about Tom's preparation for a meeting. We were headed out to speak with Chief White Duck and some of his staff and council at Pikwakanagan. And it was the lead up to signing the memo of understanding. We'd spoken a bit in the car and prior to the meeting about the agreement in principle and some of the treaty negotiations over the years. And in passing, I'd mentioned that Chief White Duck had written a book. So Tom had obviously filed that away, as he mentioned it to Chief White Duck, and then he eventually read his book and he borrowed some documents and followed up with a phone call and some other conversations with the chief. So it was illustrative to me of his ability to prepare, to understand what he had to do to start building relationships. I also want to note my sincere thanks to Councillor Robinson for allowing her name to stand. She's an excellent candidate, a wonderful person, and has worked long and hard as chair of our Social Services Committee. I am pleased to second the nomination of Tom Peckett as Warden of the County Renfrew and its many communities. I believe he is capable of exercising caution and offering reasoned decision-making and will provide leadership and representation equal to, and in some instances, fortunately, exceeding that provided those who have gone before him. And that's, the warden always tries to improve on the service of who's been before them. Besides that, Rose, Paul, and Jennifer, as past warden, will offer him excellent support and guidance. Thank you for your time and attention, and I wish to apologize, to offer to you have a safe, restful Christmas with family, friends, and community, and a prosperous New Year.
Thank you. I'd like to now call on Councillor Peckett to the podium.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I certainly appreciate all the dignitaries that have come here this morning for this event, in particular the members of Garrison Petawawa, and in particular to Chief Kirby White Duck. So I wish to take the next few moments to share with you my thoughts and goals of how we can get there together. Looking back over the past few years at County Council, I've learned a great deal about working together as a team to get results, and how having collective approach benefits our residents. Together we have faced many challenges, like the new provincial government, which brought fast-paced change to policies and funding. We have worked with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, along with other associations to face these challenges, and we've had wins, losses, and many in-betweens. But we did it together. We have worked tirelessly through 3 environmental disasters in 3 years. We also celebrated Canada's 150th anniversary. Council members don't always agree on every issue, but we discuss, decide, and lead with mutual respect nonetheless. Looking ahead, we will continue to address how shared services at local municipalities, combined with county support, can save money and create more efficient service delivery. The modernization of healthcare in our province is also a file that we have a role to play in. We need to continue to have our voices heard and show that we are leading the way in healthcare in our county. We are shifting to a butterfly model of care for our long-term care homes that are patient-centered. Our paramedic service team leads the way as a world-class example of modern care. For example, we have come up with patient care visits, which keeps a lot of folks from going back to the emergency room. We have remote rescue, and of course, drone technology, proven itself over and over again in Renfrew County. We have worked together and moved the bar on the twinning of Highway 417 past Renfrew, and we will keep pushing that issue, as well as major projects like Petawawa Boulevard. We will continue investing in social services to address housing shortages and upgrading and maintaining our existing infrastructure. Grants and funding for economic development to attract business, and moving toward the completion of the Algonquin Trail, which will bring tourist dollars to our county. We are launching a new strategic plan this year. Together with our expert staff, we will support the 4 priorities in the strategy to ensure we make the most of technology, engage our senior governments and residents, maintain physical sustainability, and continue to look at service delivery methods to create efficiencies. I wish to thank my mover, Councillor Sweet, and my seconder, Councillor Emo. Your support and confidence is greatly appreciated. As Warden, I will look to have each of you in positions on committees that will utilize your strengths to tackle all of these issues. I respectfully ask for your support and confidence in my leadership as Warden of the County of Renfrew. So let's all look to our future today and get to work together. I want to wish everyone here a very happy, Merry Christmas and New Year. Thank you.
I would now like to call on the mover for Councillor Robinson, Councillor Donahue.
Good morning. To County Council, your worships, the mayors Stack, Dion, Bennett, Eady, Moore, LeMay, Colonel Lapointe, Chief Warrant Officer Werner, and Chief White Duck. Welcome and thank you for joining us on this auspicious morning. Like my colleagues, I have to begin, of course, by acknowledging the outstanding leadership and dedication of our outgoing three-term warden, my colleague and my friend, Jennifer Murphy. I can attest certainly that it has deepened her humanity, but she does remain, I have to say, flawed in that as the mayor of a community now searching for a clerk, I do indeed curse her larcenous heart in equal measure. Just outside this storied chamber, you'll have noticed on the Wall of Honor the visages of 120 individuals, each of whom, since 1861, have borne, perhaps lightly upon their necks, the chain of office, but certainly heavily upon their shoulders, the prosperity of our community. It's my privilege this morning to nominate Councillor Debbie Robinson as singularly qualified to carry both as the next warden for the County of Renfrew. Through no carefully calculated strategy, but rather through meaningful lived experience, Councillor Robinson has been unknowingly preparing to be warden since embarking on her journalism career. Beginning at the Pembroke Advertiser News in 1980 and concluding, finally, at the Whitewater Cobden Sun in 2011, Debbie toiled 16 years for the Pembroke Daily Observer, her journey instilling a deep and broad perspective on both the strengths to build upon and the challenges to overcome in our county. Councillor Robinson made the most of her media pulpit to keep a spotlight focused on issues of concern to the people of Renfrew County. Debbie was never content, however, to be a chronicler of our times. Her volunteerism speaks volumes of her desire to build our community and effect change. Acutely aware of the need for a thriving business sector, Councillor Robinson served on the Upper Ottawa Valley Chamber of Commerce for 7 years, playing a leading role in establishing the highly successful annual awards gala. She also sat on the Algonquin College Board of Governors from 2010 through 2012. Councillor Robinson has channeled her energies particularly to ensure the most vulnerable among us are not left behind. Debbie was 9 years a member of the Salvation Army's Community Advisory Committee and 3 years a board member for Family and Children's Services. These experiences stoked her passionate advocacy for those who sometimes find themselves leading precarious lives. Councillor Robinson left her largest imprint on community living at both the Ontario and Pembroke District Associations, at the latter having chaired every single committee and serving 1 year as president. Debbie was instrumental in developing numerous policies and position papers, most notably the goal and vision statement for the local association, and a position paper on inclusive education for the provincial association, presented to then Premier Bob Rae. In 2006, Debbie entered the political fray as councillor for Laurentian Valley for 8 years and as Reeve for the last 5. Constitutionally incapable of half measure, Debbie has, again, chaired every committee and shepherded the creation of the township's original strategic plan. In her 5 years as county councillor, Debbie has chaired the Social Services Committee for 4 and has in addition this year served as Deputy Warden and as a member on the Renfrew County District Board of Health. First engaged in 2007, Debbie once again stepped forward last year as physician recruiter to meet the ever-increasing need to recruit doctors to our woefully underserviced communities. In an incredibly dynamic provincial environment, she's played an integral role on the Ad Hoc Health and Social Services Modernization Committee in charting a path forward to ensure the needs of our community continue to be met. Councillor Robinson, in every role filled or chair held, first reaches out to those around her, recognizing progress is only realized when the strengths of others can be harnessed and consensus built. She is keenly aware being out front is not leading if no one is following. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like once more to draw your attention to the wall of honor outside this chamber. I seek there sometimes amongst those faces a muse. As I wrestle with consequential decisions, so did they in their time. Among the 120 faces, however, only 4 women gaze out. 4 full rows were completed before the first, Roselma Sinclair, fully 109 years after the founding of this county, became the first woman warden. 21 more years would pass before Inez Beam, then 16 to our very own Janice Wisniewski-Moore, and finally 13 to Jennifer Murphy. Before us today, we have an opportunity to continue to redress this imbalance. A trailblazing daughter of Renfrew County, who would in 1951 become the first woman mayor of a major Canadian city in Ottawa. The ever-colorful Charlotte Whitten once famously remarked, "Whatever women do, they must do twice as well as men to be thought half as good." Luckily, she added, this is not difficult. To my council colleagues and presiding officer, Mr. Morrow, it is my distinct honor to nominate, as fit and proper to be sure, but much more so as incomparably qualified to take up the reins, our next warden for the county of Renfrew, Councillor Debbie Robinson.
I would now like to call Councillor Rose to the podium.
Good morning. I'd like to also extend my thanks to Warden Murphy for the past year that I've served here at County Council, for her leadership, her guidance, her support, not only here at County Council, but also in my own municipality, as we are neighbors and we also are friends. Also want to welcome this morning Garrison Petawawa, the Chief White Duck, guests, Reeves, mayors, and those from staff here as well. The opportunity to second the nomination of Councillor Robinson is both an honor and a privilege. I have spent the past year observing and admiring the self-confidence and professionalism that Councillor Robinson demonstrates in her role as County Councillor and Chair of the Social Services Committee. The skills are a result of the education, experience, courage, and preparation. Then we have all witnessed the dedicated effort of Councillor Robinson in attending almost all of the various committee meetings in order to understand the necessary background information as part of her transition plan for the position of warden. This is representative of her journalistic training and management experience in both the private and public sectors. Councillor Robinson is very thorough in her research and preparation, which is evident in the meticulous details articulated in her delegation presentations to provincial ministries. Councillor Robinson has demonstrated her leadership skills through her roles in the development of programs, policy, and procedures within the social service and municipal sectors. Councillor Robinson has also been instrumental in the evolution of supports and services for people with intellectual disabilities, moving from institutional-based to community-based, individualized programming. Councillor Robinson has accomplished this by combining her strong communication and mediation skills with effective public engagement. These qualities and values, which I admire in Councillor Robinson, are essential in the role of warden, and they are due in part to her own personal journey, negotiating the support system for individuals with intellectual disabilities. It requires integrity to lead this county team, and I've witnessed Councillor Robinson consistently choosing courage over comfort, choosing what's right over what's easy, and practicing her values, not just professing them. Councillor Robinson possesses a quiet confidence, curiosity, patience, and passion for contribution by giving back to her community as a volunteer advocate for families with children who have disabilities. Councillor Robinson has the experience lobbying government, has participated with staff in successful delegations with ministers at AMO, and possesses these qualities and values that create inspirational motivation for our county team. We need these leadership qualities as we look forward to 2020, knowing that we will be faced with funding challenges and service delivery reviews. We need a leader with the courage to face the changes, the wisdom to seize the opportunities, and the resilience to sustain meaningful engagement. I urge you all to vote for the brave leadership Councillor Robinson will provide as warden. Thank you very much.
I would now like to call Councillor Robinson to the podium. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, members of County Council, staff, and honored guest. Today, you will choose a successor to Warden Jennifer Murphy, who for the past 3 years has enthusiastically and professionally represented us at home, in Ottawa, and at Queen's Park. Jennifer, I offer you my sincerest thank you. I stand here today asking my council colleagues to reflect on the challenges and opportunities we've experienced this past year and ask you to grant me the opportunity to become your next warden. We must continue to have a strong role voice when it comes to legislative and funding changes announced by government that threaten our way of life or place unrealistic and unattainable goals and demands on our taxpayers. I wish to be that voice. Advocating effectively requires patience, a thorough grasp of the issues, an ability to anticipate an opposing viewpoint and react in a well-prepared and professional manner. Having a comprehensive understanding of the issues and possessing the ability to think on one's feet make all the difference. I believe I have these attributes. We have made great strides as a county during the past 10 years. Too often overlooked given our geography, previous wardens started to make noise, to share their views and lobby for the needs of almost 90,000 residents in the county of Renfrew. The wardenship of the county of Renfrew has significantly evolved, requiring a much larger dedication, passion, and strong work ethic. It requires an ability to separate signal from noise, to discern common ground when none seems apparent. It demands you to be an exceptional communicator, a facilitator, and at times a mediator. My professional career has imbued me with all of these skills. I've brought that experience to County Council table for the past 5 years. I do not shrink from tough questions, and I come prepared to debate the issues. I listen attentively to the views of others and have deep respect for the knowledge and professionalism of our dedicated staff. An essential leadership quality intrinsic to the role of warden is an ability to adapt quickly in dynamic environments. This past year, I had the privilege of speaking on behalf of the County of Renfrew when we met with 4 different provincial ministries at AMO. I went there anticipating meeting with one. Supported by the warden, fellow county councillors, and staff, I embraced the challenge. As council is well aware, our strong advocacy dramatically reduced anticipated in-year budget challenges and committed the province to comprehensive, constructive consultation. In January, when Warden Murphy named me Deputy Warden, I was truly honored. At that time, I announced my intention to run for Warden for 2020. I explained then, and I repeat today, I do not make this decision lightly. I take no half measures. Once committed, I am fully committed. The duties and responsibilities of Warden, conferred by Council for a single year, demands one to hit the ground running. To meet these exacting expectations, I have attended every meeting of every committee since that announcement. I studied the issues, I understand where the committees are going, and I recognize the importance of consistent messaging. As Warden, I will ensure our voice continues to be heard on issues of paramount concern to the County of Renfrew, reaffirmed in our renewed strategic plan. The continuation of our lobbying efforts for the extension of both the asphalt superhighway and the digital superhighway are fundamental to our economy. We will work with all stakeholders to captivate, share, and attract visitors worldwide to our natural wonderland and playground. Forestry and agriculture, drivers of our economy since the inception of the county, will continue to receive our support as they transition to lead the world in sustainability. We must lean in to address and adapt to climate change. I am pleased that Premier Ford embraced the small nuclear reactor concept that aligns with the initiatives of the Canadian nuclear laboratories. And we will continue to engage, along with the City of Pembroke, all healthcare providers in Renfrew County and surrounding area, to put the people of our community first as the delivery of healthcare here and across Ontario is reimagined. County Council has been dealing with particularly complex issues the past 12 months as we adapt to the agenda and the goals of provincial government to the needs of our community. This will not change. It is the Warden's responsibility to articulate Council's position in a clear, concise, and consistent manner. With a long career in journalism, I embrace the opportunity to do just that. This is by far the most arduous job interview I have ever undertaken. For the past 11 months, I have strived to be an effective communicator and counselor, to be a strong advocate when asked, and a thoughtful contributor during discussions and debates. It is my hope that you would judge my dedication and desire to have had a positive impact, whether here in these distinguished chambers, representing the Warden of Public Functions, or when called upon to further the interests of our county. It is my fervent hope that I've gained your respect and your support. Today I ask for your vote as the next Warden of the County of Renfrew, and I wish everyone a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you to both our candidates. I will now ask the Deputy Clerk to distribute the ballots. So we ask that you clearly mark on the ballot your choice, and that each member write the name or his or her selection on the ballot, fold the ballot into 4, and deposit it in his or her ballot in the box provided for that purpose. So we have the ballot box up here, and it needs to be folded in 4. And if you don't do that, you'll see rows waiting in front of you. Thanks, Thank you, members of the council. I'd like to congratulate Councillor Robinson as the next warden of the county. I could ask Councillor Robinson, mover and seconder, to escort her to the dais, please.
Warden 2032. Leo got to stay in your office this morning.
You now need to swear the declaration. So I'll tell the audience what it is. Yep, you need a pen? Yeah, I know. Okay. So, members of council, I will now ask Councillor Robinson to swear the declaration of office.
I, Deputy Robinson, having been elected to the office of Warden of the County of Renfrew, do solemnly promise and declare that, on behalf of the County of Renfrew, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration, consciously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Sign away. Okay, I'll sign, and then I'll shake your hand, and then you'll go sit up there.
Oh, I do this up there?
Yep. Do you want to do it down here? It's your call, you're the warden. You do whatever you want.
I'm going to do it down here.
Okay.
You can shake my hand.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning again, and thank you all for being here. To begin with, I'd like to thank my mover, Councillor Michael Donoghue, and my seconder, Councillor James Brose, for your advice and support for my election of warden. It was absolutely amazing. I thank you so very, very much. I'll never be able to repay you. I also wish to thank County Council for the belief in my leadership and their vote of confidence. Together, we will enter 2020 with open minds and the drive to serve our residents with the utmost dedication. I'd first like to acknowledge and introduce you to some special guests here today. Very first, my husband, Dale, for your understanding and support. My daughter, Megan, and Leo, everyone's already met. I also want to recognize my council of Laurentian Valley for their support here at a council table every meeting. Councillor Watt, Councillor Wren, and of course, Mayor Steve Bennett. As well, our CAO, Dean Sorio, and our treasurer, Charlene. Very, very appreciated that you're here, as well as our mayor's wife, Kathy Bennett, and Alan Wren's wife, Kathy Wren. So thank you very much. I don't think I'm missing anybody in there. I also would like to recognize Mayor Walter Stack from the town of Empire, Mayor Suzanne Dion from Deep River, again, Steve Bennett from Laurentian Valley, Mayor Don Eady, very nice to see you again, Don. Mayor Michael Moore from the Township of Whitewater Region, Mayor City of Pembroke, Michael May, from Garrison, Petawawa, Colonel Louis Lapointe, Commander and Chief Warrant Officer Tom Werner, Chief Warrant Officer Eric Green, Chief Kirby White Duck, Waukanagan First Nation, and Ray Bonnenberg, Chair of the Board of Directors, and Diane McKinnon, Executive Director of the Renfrew County Community Futures Corporation. I am going to apologize for my voice because it's probably going to fade here as we go along. I just thank everyone for being here. As council, we have seen many changes in government priorities and government policies. These changes have come at a pace that often has been quite rapid, requiring us to swiftly take a stand, push back, partner, and negotiate. Together, council and staff will continue to tackle whatever challenges come our way from the province and the federal government. The County of Renfrew has always been an innovator, a tough negotiator, and those traits will continue to serve us as we head into 2020 and beyond. Of that, I'm certain. Our new strategic plan offers us direction and priorities that will allow us to achieve beneficial results for our community and lead to the success for the future. It will be a benchmark against which we will measure ourselves, our strengths and capacity to meet the needs of the 90,000 residents we represent. We will focus on engaging governments at the provincial and federal levels, maintaining fiscal sustainability, conducting service delivery reviews, and accelerating our use of technology. I am confident that the 4 priorities laid out in our strategic plan will aid us in all of these initiatives and more as we undertake them in 2020. Attaining success also demands on continuing to maintain and grow partnerships with senior governments, CNL, Garrison Petawawa, Algonquins of Pikwakanagan, the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, AMO, FCM, Roma, the media, and our local stakeholders. The provincial government's decision to embrace a small nuclear reactor means CNL will continue to drive critical research and development right here in Ottawa Valley, contributing significantly to lowering global carbon emissions and diversifying our economy. I look forward to continued collaboration with Garrison Petawawa, an incredibly important asset to the town of Petawawa, the County of Renfrew, and to our nation, and indeed the international community. I also wish to acknowledge that we are assembled here today on unceded territory of the Algonquin First Nation. Having a shared goal of improving the quality of life and economic well-being of our communities, we must build on the historic Memorandum of Understanding signed in 2016 and take concrete, deliberate steps to more robust action. It is incumbent upon us that we move together in unison, leaving no one behind. Excuse me. Working together with these partners, our local municipalities, others, this council will continue to move forward on successful projects like Highway 417 expansion, completion of the Algonquin Trail, increased active transportation projects, and securing assistance as we evolve our service delivery to increase efficient use of our resources, both human and financial. In addition to those issues, we will press forward with initiatives concerning community housing, childcare, and Ontario Works. We will embrace the adoption of the butterfly model for Bonnechere Manor and Miramichi Lodge. We must ensure that our communities most vulnerable are given the services and supports they deserve and require. Together, we will work with the province to protect our assets and investments in these programs and services. Our world-class paramedic service is renowned for its innovation and adaptations that center on people, creatively meeting the needs of our rural community. We will continue to celebrate and share their successes. As council, we will continue to raise our voices at AMO, FCM, Roma, and the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus to ensure that paramedic services remain locally managed and focused so that they continue to provide the best programs and services to our residents in the manner that is best suited to meet their needs. As council, we shall continue the conversations needed to ensure that our share of infrastructure dollars from the province and the federal government is secured, so we may direct it according to our needs to maintain roads, bridges, and buildings to a level of service and condition our residents deserve and expect. Communicating with our residents and other stakeholders on key issues has served us well in the past, and moving into this year, we will continue to do so. By examining new technology options and building on the methods we already use, I am confident that we will continue to keep our community engaged and well-informed. We are moving into a year of transition, not only here in this building and at Renfrew County Place, but with our continued examination of our service delivery methods to find improvements and efficiencies in how we do business. This service transition reaches out to our local municipalities as well. Shared services are being examined, and no doubt these new ways of delivering services will yield savings, sustainability, and improvements to the services of our residents. The services our residents receive, not only at the county level, but also at the local municipal level. We have committed much effort and investment into the Cell Gap project with the Eastern Ontario Regional Network. And as a council, we will continue to move forward and ensure that we remain at the top of that list for infrastructure and increased connectivity that will help attract new businesses, investments, and residents to our wonderful county. So, together as a dedicated, hardworking, and focused council, and with our dedicated and expert staff, we will press on, continuing to build upon the excellent work that has been done by this council and those before it. I look forward to working with each of you this year and making sure that each of you feels listened to and valued for the contributions made in the committees you will sit on or lead. I am humbled and honored by this opportunity you have offered me today. Let's get going from this day forward to leading, serving, and celebrating our county every day. We are not only elected officials, but ambassadors, and as such, let's keep reminding those who visit or live here to experience our history and share our future. Thank you to each and every one of you. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very happy and prosperous New Year's. Thank you.
Paul's already telling me what to do. I'm looking for a motion to destroy the ballots. Moved by Councillor Emo, seconded by Councillor Snezky-Moore. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Now it is my honor to ask Mayor Walker Stack to the town of our spring greetings.
Good morning, everyone. Warden Robertson, good morning, congratulations. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. I'm just saying to Paul, still feels pretty good. I've been at the podium a couple times before in this county. It's great to be back this morning and catch up with some of my friends and former colleagues here. I want to sincerely congratulate Debbie for this challenge she's taken on as Warden of Renfrew County, and my friend Tom for putting his name forward. I know it takes a lot of work even to search your conscience and make the decision, and it takes work to run. And I can speak that I know just how it feels sometimes, Tom, when you're not the one that gets elected. I want to also recognize my colleague Dan Lynch from Iron Prayer for the commitment he makes here at the county on behalf of our home community and his job at home as well. I'd like to recognize Commander and the men and women from Base Petawawa and thank them for their service and their commitment to our local community. So from our family, Barbara, myself, and our residents of Iron Prayer, I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous and safe New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Walter. I would now ask the Mayor of Deep River, Susan Dion, to come forward, please.
Good morning. I just want to thank the County Council and staff and all of you for inviting me here today. It was a pleasure. Congratulations to Warden Robinson and Mr. Peckett for putting your name, Councillor Peckett for putting your name forward. It's much appreciated, all of you that contribute to our governance at the county level. And I want to acknowledge our Reeve from Deep River, Reeve Glenn Doncaster, who does a great job for us here every day. These are challenging times, but they're also times of great opportunity. Success, they say, is when preparation and opportunity intersect. The GTA is growing at an incredible pace. Yet the GTA, while they have a great basketball team, is also filled with millions of unhappy citizens stuck in traffic. So we have both the need and an opportunity to attract some of them to rural communities like ours. We have other counties are competing for the same demographic. People interested in leaving the GTA are searching for a different lifestyle, and we have a great one here in Renfrew County. We need to prepare for this opportunity by marketing our rural lifestyle, always ensuring a warm and welcoming reception to those who come, and protecting and enhancing our beautiful natural environment and our key infrastructure, such as schools, hospitals, and municipal assets. We also need to ensure we support, retain, and grow both our major employers and our local homegrown businesses. Individual municipalities like mine can't do this on our own. We need to focus and to work collectively together. We need to share our expertise, use tax dollars wisely, and keep our costs low to free up resources to invest in the things that really matter to our citizens, our visitors, and those who might just want to move here. So when we work together, we all win. And I really do look forward to continuing our collaborative discussions that we started at the Eagles Nest in Eganville back in October. And I wish you all the best for a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and thank you again.
Thank you, Stan. It's now my pleasure to invite the Mayor of Renfrew Valley, Steve Bennett, to bring greetings.
Debbie told me that if she was to win, I had to keep my speech very short. Certainly, the Renfrew Valley staff will be able to catch their breath and The staff at County Council better get your breath, because I'm sure you're going to be very busy. I'd like to thank County Council for giving me the opportunity to speak today. As you're aware, I had the chance to sit as an acting member in October and was able to get a better understanding how County Council functions and realize the efforts put forth. I'd like to thank the former warden for allowing me to speak that day. I've had several meetings lately with various staff members on Laurentian Valley issues and appreciate the welcomeness and time that was given to me. I hope our positive relationship that Laurentian Valley has with County Council continues under the direction of our new warden. By the way, thank you for the approval of Bourne Bridge. To past warden Jennifer, thank you for your time and effort in these past years, especially through the flood process. To Debbie, congratulations on your election. The effort put forth to bring you to this moment is second to none. You have my complete support as well as our council and staff. Debbie, for as long as I've known you, you put forward 100% plus in any situation you've been put in. You always are well informed on all issues and brought forward and always contribute in a positive way. You have a strong voice here at County Council, and I'm sure you'll be the same as Warden of the County. Good job, Debbie. Make us proud.
There's two buttons up here. Now I'd like to welcome Mayor John Amy from Renfrew.
Warden Robinson and former Warden Murphy, County Councillors, Chief White Duck, CFB delegation, County Councillors, and guests. Sorry. Good morning. Congratulations, Debbie, if you don't mind me calling you Debbie. Warden Robinson. What an honor I'm sure that you feel right now. I've sat on County Council, some of you know, or many of you know that I sat here for 4 years. I know what a responsibility this is going to be for you. And by your speech, etc., I know you're willing and ready to do it. So congratulations. Just a couple words about Renfrew. Renfrew right now is starting to develop. We have some new things happening in town. The Peen Group will be building 380 apartments in the town of Renfrew, which is good news for our town. I have to say and thank you to all county councillors involved with the announcement of the new highway coming as far as Renfrew. And be guaranteed, as long as I sit in the chair, we will support any further expansion of the Highway 17, 417. Badly needed. Driving up here this morning, I started to count transports. When I got to 25, I quit. I don't know how many there was after that, but for sure a lot of traffic on the road. On behalf of our council, I want to thank Reeve Emo for his part he plays in Renfrew. I depend on him greatly all the time. Sometimes I just leave him out to hang to dry, but he does such a great job, and certainly a big asset to our council. And he keeps us well informed of what's going on in the county, and I'm sure that his word up here is still well served. Just briefly looking around the table this morning, Warden Robinson, there's 4 other previous wardens sitting in this room. I don't know how many county councils in Ontario could say that. So there's an awful wealth of experience up here. I'd also like to say congratulations to Mr. Peckett,
Mayor Beckett, to put your name up here is an honor in itself, and thank you for doing that. I'd just like to wish everyone here a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and again, congratulations.
Now I'd like to invite up Mayor Michael Warden from Whitewater Region.
Good morning, everyone. It's quite an impressive sight to see the new warden sworn in. Congratulations. And it's something to see the outgoing warden going out with tears in her eyes. That means that she's really dedicated. Thank you for your time. This is my first time being at County Council. My Reeve, Kathy Rigier, has been attending. She keeps us informed of everything that happens here, and in some of these speeches I'm hearing today, we're all saying the same thing. There's a lot going on, there's a lot coming on. Unfortunately, I didn't become mayor at a very good time. We had a winter that never ended and then a spring that never ended. And the constant fight for Highway 17 is truly discouraging. And now we're losing a bank. So we've got a long road ahead of us. One thing I do want to mention, though, having gone through the flood with Warden, sorry, I almost called you Warden Murphy. The gentleman in the green at the back of the room, we appreciate them very much, and we didn't know how much until this year for this flood of a lifetime. We entertained the military for almost 6 weeks, feeding between 80 and 150 people an evening. So it was a lot of hard work, and we do appreciate the work that the military do. A lot of us in the room don't see what they do, but we certainly learned that this year. So at this time, I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a very safe and happy New Year, and another road to purgatory as we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. It's now my pleasure to invite Mayor Michael May to come to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of City Council, it's a pleasure to bring greetings from the City of Pembroke, the heart of the Ottawa Valley. Congratulations, Reeve Robinson, on your election as Warden. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you and County Council to serve the residents of the county and the city. I wish you all the best in your tenure as Warden. There's a good working relationship between the county and our city, and I'm sure that we accept times are changing for municipalities and we can't afford to do business the same way we have in the past. We share costs in long-term care, paramedics, local housing, Ontario Works, and childcare. And the success of our partnerships and the importance of collaborating in other areas is necessary if we are to ensure that everything we do together is the very best and the most cost-effective for all of our residents. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Now it's my privilege to ask Colonel Louis Lapointe, Commander-in-Chief Warrant Officer Tom Berner from Garrison of Ottawa, to bring greetings.
Warden Robinson, members of council, Chief White Duck, mayors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for providing me this opportunity today. I would like to begin by congratulating Warden Robinson on her election as new warden of the county. I wish you well in your term of office. Mayor Murphy, it has been a pleasure working with you as the warden over the past 3 years. Your dedication and compassion were truly felt. I am here today with a bit of mixed emotion. First, it is always a pleasure to attend this event and extend greetings from the defense team and our families at Garrison Petawawa. As a soldier who had roots tied to Quebec, I would have never believed that I would end up in command of one of Canada's leading English operational base. But this opportunity had been given to me not just once, but twice. First, as a Deputy Commander of Fort Canadian Division Support Group from 2013 to 2015, and as a Commander of the Garrison since 2017. This is the 5th time that I had the privilege of addressing this noble assembly. After spending a total of 5 years in the Ottawa Valley, it will be hard for me and my family to leave this wonderful region and its people. I also know that this recognition is also echoed by my Formation Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Tom Werner, who will be completing his appointment in Petawawa this summer after spending over 28 years in the region. Thanks for making us and our families one of you. You will have a new Garrison leadership team this summer, and I am sure they will fit in well with all of you. 2019 was an important year as member of the Canadian Armed Forces in Renfrew County. 2 Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group entered into its road to high readiness through Task Force Tomahawk. Starting next summer, the brigade will be responsible for providing troops for a wide range of operational tasks, including 3 main theaters of operation in Latvia, Ukraine, and Iraq. They will also stand ready to contribute to any other national effort to provide combat-ready, multi-purpose land forces to meet the Government of Canada's key objective at home and around the world. On the expeditionary side, last year, we saw 450 Squadron and members of Warden Canadian Field Hospital closing their commitment to the United Nations mission in Mali, up presence. This over 12-month commitment in the Sahel region was the Canadian Armed Forces' hallmark contribution to peace support operation. Members of our special operation community also remain consistently engaged around the world, delivering on governmental policy and engagements. More specifically at home, Garrison Petawawa can be called at any time to support domestic operation and natural disaster in Canada. Having many of our troops undergoing intensive training until next summer will definitely have an impact on our response capabilities. However, rest assured that we will continue to fulfill our domestic response mandates with the same energy and professionalism. The Canadian Armed Forces will continue to assist our provincial and territorial authorities if they would become overwhelmed. As you are well aware, last spring, Garrison Petawawa deployed over 1,000 soldiers, sailors, and aviators to help with the flood relief efforts. We took great pride in being present for our community, and I did not hesitate to redeploy additional troops when the county needed them. Not 2 emergency response are the same. Through last spring misfortune, we have grown a lot in learning about each other's capabilities. Although next spring flood will probably bring new challenges, I am confident that the county will be ready to assist our municipalities in providing emergency assistance and relief coordination to those in need. For our soldiers, our task will remain in support of you, the civil authorities. We will stand ready to help stabilize the situation and assist to ensure the wellness and safety of the population and protect the critical infrastructure. We will achieve this by identifying early our regional liaison officer to ensure a more effective flow of information. With this, I would like to introduce our Chief Warrant Officer, Eric Green, sitting in the back. Chief Warrant Officer Green has been appointed from my formation, more specifically from Operations Services, to be the lead regional liaison officer for the area. On the infrastructure sustainment for the future, as the largest employer in Renfrew County, the Garrison has a workforce of over 8,000 people. This, in turn, is responsible for a multi-million-dollar annual operating budget with an estimate of over $600 million for local GDP impact in local expenditure for the county. As Canada's leading operational garrison, maintaining and supporting this workforce and their families is my top priority. In order that we may adequately support missions and operations like our recent supports to the flood here in Renfrew County, or standing up as Canada's high readiness force, the sustainment of our defense, municipal and county infrastructure is imperative. While we are spending millions on this project, more work still needs to be done. It is not in our collective nature to accept the status quo. As you know, one of the major infrastructure projects that is very important to me as commander, resident, and taxpayer is the improvement of the traffic flow on and off the garrison. The garrison stands ready in working with you in addressing this issue to ensure the garrison's capacity to grow and continue to deliver efficiently on its mission in the future. When it comes to community, the soldiers and civilians at Garrison Petawawa never fail to support. The soldiers and civilians that work at Garrison Petawawa are also a huge part of this community. They have families and they care. They volunteer, they lend a hand to neighbors when needed, and they contribute to charities that support this community. I am very proud of that support, and I'm sure you are also. In conclusion, as this is the last time I will address you as a council, I would like to leave you with some parting thought. As leaders, you and I have a lot in common. As mayors and reeves across the county, you have the mandate to care for our citizens, and as a commander of Garrison Petawawa, this is also my top priority. As many of our soldiers and their families live in your communities, we have a lot of common goals that demands responsibility. So in closing, for the new county leadership, I would like to leave you with this parting thought from Walt Disney. Of all the things I've done, the most vital is coordinating those who work with me and aiming their effort at a certain goal. Warden, members of council, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for providing us this opportunity to speak. Chief Warrant Officer Werner and I are pleased to be here today and want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. Thank you very much. May God.
And now I'd like to welcome Chief Kirby White Dog, Algonquin Petwakan First Nation.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I bring greetings on behalf of Petwakan Council. Can you hear me? And the members of the Algonquin Petwakan First Nation, and I'm very pleasantly surprised to be asked to be here and to speak. And a bit unexpected, but I think I'm prepared to say a few words. First of all, of course, congratulations to the new Warden Robinson, and hopefully you have a successful term in your office. And also I want to commend Tom Peckett for running it and making it a race. I understand that Renfrew County is the biggest county in Ontario. It also is the largest county in unsurrendered Algonquin territory. And I believe the mayor said that one of the townships is in the heart of Renfrew County. Well, you can see Petwakan is right in the middle, and I think that's the heart of the county in the Ottawa Valley. I'm happy to be here. I know we're making some progress in some relationships. Former Warden Eamon pursuing that MOU with us around economic development. we've signed that, and now we're moving towards developing the finalizing terms of reference. I understand we have a meeting in January, so very happy to see that we're kind of working together. I think we should work together as much as possible and support each other where we can. I know that there are some places and sometimes if we can support each other, we may be competing for the same pots of government funds, and that becomes a bit of a difficulty sometimes. I like to think that this is a part of reconciliation. You always hear the word reconciliation, but the part that people miss is Truth and Reconciliation. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I'm looking at, this way here. Experience our history and share our future. So I've done quite a bit of research on Algonquin history, and history, I guess, in the Ottawa Valley. And I don't know if you'd want to experience our history. But I would like you to get you to know it, because then that becomes the truth part of reconciliation. So if you understand the history of the county as well as the Algonquins, then you understand why there is a need for reconciliation, because that history is a long one, but it's also very one-sided. So there you see Pikwakanagan, 1,800 acres. We're looking for more land, of course, to regain some of the land that we lost and the resources. There's mention of the history being forestry and agriculture. Well, our history is not so happy because of forestry and agriculture, because it pushed the Algonquins back further and further. And you have Algonquins speaking in their petitions and speeches about becoming poor, poverty, children dying, wives dying, because the animals and the fish and the resources are all being pushed back as forestry came through, and then population and farming, etc. Well, so that's kind of part of the history, I guess, the truth. And so in between experience our history and share our future should be reconciliation. So I think we're on the road to that. I think we would like to continue to work together on different things. And I see that inviting me here on as a behalf of Pikwakanagan is also a move in that direction. And I know I've made a lot of relationships with people in the room here, including Colonel LaPointe and people from Garrison Petawawa. And we have good relationships, and we're trying to work together. So, and like land select. So we've selected lands. I know I want to talk to the county about a couple of land selects that we're having problems with. And hopefully we can work that out and continue then to share our future together. So we want to be working partners, and hopefully the warden and her council here will try to embark upon that with the Algonquins, with Pikwakanagan, and so that we can share the future, and that we work together for our mutual benefit and our mutual benefit of our children and our grandchildren. So happy to be able to work together on the MOU in terms of reference, and hopefully that could lead to some positive developments and partnerships, and that we can then, of course, move to sharing the future and reconciliation. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for being here. Congratulations again, and I wish everybody a safe and happy holiday. Drive carefully. It's wet out there, and it's a bit slippery on icy spots. So, miigwech.
Thank you very much, Chief White Duck, and your comments are taken part for sure. There's just one other person I would like to recognize, save the best for last. And that is the longest serving mayor of the county in the county of Renfrew, Jack Wilson, my mentor. Please stand up, Jack. It's very important to Jack always supported me for the craziness when I first came on council. He just kept shaking his head, and eventually I wore him down. the striking committee, chaired by Councillor Michael Donoghue, members Debbie Grills, Jennifer Murphy, Kathy Riviere, and John Reinwald. The striking committee will convene in the Warden's boardroom at 12:15, and county council will resume at 1 o'clock. Please, everyone in the audience, stay and join us for lunch. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. Excellent conversation. Okay, I'd ask Chair Michael Donoghue of the Striking Committee to present his report, please.
Thank you, Madam Warden, very much. And I think it was a very auspicious beginning that you are commencing 2 minutes early. To the Council of the Corporation of the County of Renfrew, we, your striking committee, wish to recommend as follows. A bylaw to establish the county committees for the ensuing year. Resolution number ST-CC-20-01-01. Moved by Chair and by committee that the persons listed in bylaw number 1-20 be the committees for the ensuing year, and that the first person named on each committee, where bold, be the chair, and that these be established by bylaw at this session of County Council. It has only just been put in front of Council, Warden. Perhaps it would be appropriate for them to review, but that is the resolution.
Thank you very much, Councillor Donoghue. I will give everyone a few minutes just to read it. I'm going to assume everyone has a chance to read it. Are there any comments? Seeing none. Chair, have you already moved?
No, Madam, but I so move.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Bylaws. Is that Councillor Rose?
I have a bylaw moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Lynch, that the bylaws listed on item 27 and attached here to a Schedule A on the County Council agenda dated December 10th, 2019 be deemed read 3 times and passed.
They're together, all of our bylaws are together in one.
Any notice of motions? Oh, we do need to vote, don't we? Okay. So all in favor? carried. Thank you very much. Notice of motions. Members' written motions. Under new business, Councillor Doncaster.
Thank you, Warden Robinson. Once again, November 26th to 29th, it's my pleasure and honor on behalf of the county and our 17 municipalities to attend the FCM committee meetings and board of directors meetings in Inaugural. Normally in November, these meetings are advocacy days where we meet with parliamentarians, MPs, senators, but because of the House hadn't sat from the fall election, the format was slightly different. Most of the committee of whole meetings, time was spent reviewing a draft report that was put forward by the FCM Governance Task Force, which is reviewing the entire governance of FCM, how we do things. So that was interesting conversations, because as you can imagine, trying to get 106 people to agree on changing the format of your governance structure, it's going to be a challenge. So I think it's going to take a while. I don't know if we'll see that at the AGM next summer or not. I think the plan is to have the new governance structure at that point, but I'm not sure it will be there or not. During this time, I was pleased and honored to meet with MP Eric Duncan from Stormont, Dundas, Glengarry, and his perspectives on municipal importance and somewhat of a focus on rural issues. In addition to that, I met with Minister Marion Monsef, who is now the new Minister of Rural Economic Development, along with her existing portfolio of women's issues and gender equality, Minister of Women and Gender Equality. I think that's the right title. Met with her, new position for her as the Minister of Rural Economic Development, and her perspective on the importance of rural municipalities. So that was enlightening. She's excited about it. She comes from Peterborough, so she's used to that. Her the first time she entered into political life was she ran for the mayor of Peterborough. Wasn't successful in that, but then went on to become an MP. And I furthered a conversation that I had with her at an Italian restaurant in Paris earlier this year when we met there one time. So further to this, I was included in a meeting with Prime Minister Trudeau. It was a very productive meeting, and it was interesting to hear his perspective on the importance of municipalities in this country. He explained his understanding of the infrastructure needs that municipalities have and the importance of the municipal level of government being the closest level of government to the people. And he used that term, level of government, constantly. So it was encouraging to hear. And also the importance of investment in that and sustainable, predictable investment in municipal infrastructure projects, which was encouraging. And most importantly, I would say we walked away from the meeting feeling that he was, trying to think of the right wording, certainly acknowledged the importance of the federal gas tax and didn't seem opposed to our ask of permanently doubling it, but didn't seem opposed to looking at some significant increases to the federal gas tax. So that was encouraging. So I'll leave it at that. I just thought I'd let everybody give you a slight update on the meetings in November. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Doncaster, and certainly I'm sure I speak with everybody here in Chambers that you're invaluable to us being at FCM and giving our voice there. It's much appreciated. Does anyone have any questions of Councillor Doncaster? Seeing none, thank you very much for that update. There's no closed meeting. Confirmatory bylaw. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Warden. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Donoghue, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the County of Renfrew at the meeting held on December 10th, 2019, be now numbered, deemed read 3 times, and passed. Thank you.
Confirming our bylaw, all in favor? Opposed, none, carried. Before we adjourn, I just want to thank everyone for today, and Councillor Peckett too. We will work very well together, I have absolutely no doubt. Merry Christmas to everyone. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Doncaster, seconded by Councillor Reinwald. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone.